So I've been in love with science ever since I remember. Um, One Christmas when I was a kid, my dad bought me and my brother these little do-it-yourself transistor radios, and we spent the whole night trying to put them together with the little chips and the wires and the needle that you have to kind of balance out to tune in a radio station. And at the time, I think we were trying to tune in KBS 95, Golden Oldies, the best. We were just nerds like that. And so the nerdiness continued, and my love for science grew to the point where in high school I joined the Science Olympiad team, and it was really cool because I was really excited because we made it to the championships that year. And there was this last trial where you had to beam a flashlight across a dozen mirrors to hit this target in a completely different room. And it was really, really fun, but we lost. And I tend to blame my teacher, Mr. Madursky, because at the time he didn't teach trig until the end of the year, even though he knew this competition was coming up. So I kind of blame him, but to be honest, he was the best teacher I ever had. He was my science teacher, and he looked a little bit like Mr. Miyagi, and he would call me Grasshopper, like Karate Kid. I think probably because my name was Daniel, but I thought it was because he was kind of my mentor or something. He used to give me like hard math problems, and he seemed to take a special interest in me. Anyway, it was Mr. Madursky who really inspired me to pursue a bachelor in science. When I got to the university, though, I had a really tough time. I quickly got swamped with book work, exams. The quarter system that we all know and love really kind of got me down. I was starting to drown in my studies, and my love for science really waned. I barely eked out with a bachelor in this combo degree called psychobiology, and then I roamed the wild in search of odd jobs for a good 5 years until I ended up a substitute at a local school, where I was exposed to all the amazing things that I missed from my high school. You know, all the hands-on experiments, the fun projects, and the dedicated teachers invested in your learning. That's where I really started to think about science teaching and science learning. So around that time, I was really lucky to be invited to the NGSS conference, the Next Generation Science Standard Conference, and I learned about the direction that science learning and science education was going. And when I saw all these passionate science teachers really trying to make a change in the way that science was taught, and I was seeing all the cool ideas they had, I was like, this is how education should be. There should be less of this book work and rote memorization of facts, and more about thinking and learning and examining the natural world. Not that reading and writing isn't important. In fact, I think science literacy is super important, but there has to be a balance. You got to spark the minds of students when you're teaching science, and I was like, dang, balance is key. Balance is good. I need to channel my inner grasshopper and become a teacher to join this wave of awesome science learning. So I signed up. I signed up for UCSD's EDS program, and after a 2-year stint with awesome professors, dedicated colleagues, and inspiring students, I've had the chance to explore the teaching profession, learning about teaching English language learners, best practices for bilingual teaching, what it really means to be a good teacher, a good role model, to teach good science. I've had the opportunity to attend conferences like AVID, where I can learn to support students with academic language. And I've even landed an internship where I've spent some crazy time with crazy 7th graders that I adore with all my heart. Above all, they have taught me that teaching isn't easy, and you better come correct or they will devour you alive. But I keep telling myself, if I channel my inner grasshopper, I can become the teacher that they need. I think this would make Mr. Miyagi, Mr. Madursky, proud.